be with them crosses. Them coulda never be with bosses. Them coulda never be with bosses.
Good night, brothers and sisters. It's really an honor and certainly a pleasure for me to be here fellowshipping with you in this constituency of St. Mary's South. It's always very good when the United Progressive Party is able to engage the people in our communities in dialogue. As we move around the country sharing in these town hall meetings, 3 weeks ago we were at the Princess Margaret School. I want all of you to understand that these sessions, as Sister Maleka said, are an excellent opportunity for you to raise your concerns, your problems, to ask questions about important policy initiatives, about problems that you may have in your communities, your feelings, your views on the government's plans and programs. We are certainly here to discuss those concerns, to hear your questions and to answer those questions as best as possible, and to provide amicable solutions to your concerns and your problems. So please don't be shy when we get to that part of the program. Tonight there are a few matters that I want to speak to you about, and I think the welcoming remarks spoke to a few of them. Sister Harrigan mentioned about the school and so on, and we're going to get into some of those, but of course I have a 5-minute limit. I want to first of all start though with an issue which is au courant, very much in the press at this time, very much on the minds of the nation of Antigua and Barbuda, and that is the failed no confidence motion. I stand here before you tonight to say that no matter whether the leader of the opposition were in parliament or not, no matter how many members were in parliament, both on our side or on the opposition side, no matter the arguments that were presented in the House of Representatives last week, Wednesday, the motion would have failed. The motion would have failed. Just as the Labour Party has failed this country for 28 years. Just as the Labour Party failed in 2004, just as they failed in 2009, and just as you, the people of St. Mary's South, will make them fail again in 2014. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the vote of no confidence, when you think about it, when you really wrap your brain about it, it was really just a shameful and shameless attempt to grab power. And this goes back, if you look at the history of the short history of this government from 2004, the opposition party has never accepted that they lost the election and the confidence of the people of this country. They have tried every single tack possible, short of a coup d'etat. They have tried everything possible. When we started out from predictions that we wouldn't get past 6 months, we wouldn't get past 1 year, we wouldn't get past 2 years, and so on and so forth, and then when we got past that, we would be a one-term government.
Are we looking for 3? I'll tell you.
What the opposition did, and then leading up in 2009, all of the hate and the vitriol that was spewed out, the aiding and abetting, all of the crimes and the rapes that happened in 2008 and the lead up to 2009. I call it aiding and abetting. I call it that.
Don't call it.
They were spewing on a daily basis this kind of vitriol, so that this government would find governance to be ungovernable. Simple as that. We have a leader, though, with a very steady hand, and I want you to give it up for the Honorable Dr. Winston Baldwin Spencer. We have a leader who has a head on his shoulders, a leader who, I believe, the people of this country has every confidence in. A leader who the international community respects so much that the international universities were able to convey on our political leader not just one, but 2 honorary doctorates. And personally, brothers and sisters, I give a vote of confidence to my leader. I give a vote of confidence, and that is what would have happened in the House of Representatives last Wednesday. I do so because I see him as a leader who is unselfish. I see him as a leader who is sincere. I see him as a patient and long-suffering leader. And you said it, brother, a God-fearing Christian man. And I have seen and I've worked with him. I've seen and worked with him. How bold he has been in the face of adversity. The many onslaughts while he was in opposition, even in government. Strong in the face of difficult and trying times. That is the kind of leader you want.
He was alone. The only one among.
That's right. Conciliatory in the face of divisiveness and so on. And that is why that motion last week would have failed. Baldwin Spencer has demonstrated strength and resilience, strength of character, and the willpower that I haven't seen in most leaders anywhere across this Caribbean region. And I just simply want to say, before I go into my presentation, to my leader, be of good courage, and God will strengthen your heart. What are you saying, Malika? Not 5 minutes, please? No, thank you very much. I get a pass. Now, brothers and sisters, you've heard me address these concerns in many other fora. But I want to tonight engage many of the parents who are here, not only in this audience, but who are listening via radio to the sound of my voice. Get involved in your child or children's education to mitigate what we in the ministry see as an escalation in not only drugs, but violence and deviant behavior. The statistics have shown us that parents who get involved in their children's education are 90 to 95% more likely to be well-adjusted, successful, well-behaved, respectful children, as opposed to those who are either parents who are either too busy or just not interested in their children's education. The evidence has shown us in the ministry that all the top performers, whether it's Common Entrance, CXC, CSEC, or CAPE, are from the homes of parents or a parent who spends time, shows some amount of interest in the education of the child or children. So what we are advocating in the ministry is that parents fulfill their roles and responsibilities to their children. Yes. Part of the problem that we are having in our society today, with the lack of control, with violence, with deviant behavior, with disrespect, stems from that lack of proper home training, lack of strong discipline in the home, and lack of parental care, nurturing, and love. And so tonight, brothers and sisters, we want to encourage you to become a part of the activities of the school. You have a beautiful school out here at Boland's. Get involved in the activities of the school. Find out from your teacher what your child's homework is. Be a part of the PTA. That was one of the foremost activities when I got into the Ministry of Education, that every parent who has a child in secondary or primary school should get involved in the PTA of his or her child's school. Ensure that your child completes homework. Check your children's school bags. Brothers and sisters, we're finding too many machetes and cutlasses and scissors and pick and all sorts of things in the school bags of our children. Check their school bags before they leave home and make sure that they only have books and pens and pencils. You might have heard us speak about plans to introduce universal secondary education. And this community of Bolands is benefiting from that plan. Last year, we opened the Irene B. Williams Secondary School. In 2010, we opened the St. Mary's Secondary School. And also in that year, we opened the Glanville Secondary School. And that is part of this government's overall holistic plan to ensure that every child in Antigua and Barbuda has access to a secondary education. This is a government that is built. This is a government that has a strong foundation in education. And when you look at the track record, of 8 short years of this government, you will see that we have a deep commitment to education. This community is a big community, and so we expect that many of the children from this community will go on to St. Mary's Secondary instead of being crammed up at Jennings Secondary. The ministry is now reviewing how we do the placement of our children once they sit the exit exam, the primary exit exam, be it common entrance or whichever exam we choose to put in place. Brothers and sisters, 2013 is the year that we are moving forward with universal secondary. It means that all of the children in this community will have that opportunity to say, I entered a secondary school. I was able to do 8, 9, 10 CXCs, and I can now access the government scholarship program put in place by the United Progressive Party government. I don't want you to take it for granted. Never take it for granted what this government has done in terms of scholarships, building the human resources of this nation. Because when you and I, many of you who are adults now in your 40s, 50s, were looking to leave secondary school and to go to universities all over the world, there was nothing in place. There was nothing in place. You had Commonwealth scholarships, Rhodes scholarships, Fulbright scholarships, all sorts of scholarships given by friendly governments and organizations, and they were just pushed under the table because the previous administration had no interest in building the human resources of Antigua and Barbuda. And this government, led by the Honorable Baldwin Spencer, has demonstrated that every year since we've been in office, over 300 young people have been able to leave this country to go to study in universities all over the world, in disciplines, in all sorts of disciplines. When I hear my young people speaking Chinese and Spanish, and are fluent and are able to study medicine and architecture and engineering in Chinese and in Spanish and in Russian. We have people in Russia studying. And when you look back at the track record and you compare it, brothers and sisters, with a government that was led by the father of the nation who told this country that he had not read a book since he was 18 years old. That's a fact. I was there. I was a young reporter when he said it. So nobody can deny. I heard it for myself, and if you check the archives of ABS, it's there. He had not read a book since he was 18 years old. He said it. Brothers and sisters, this government is demonstrating in all of its activities that it is committed to building up rather than breaking down, because we're about development. Brothers and sisters, I know that I don't have a long time. I just want to just very quickly say to you, the school meals program, Brother Winston is dealing with that program. He has that on his portfolio area in the ministry, and I know that there have been discussions with him in terms of bringing the school meals program to Boland's Primary, St. Mary's Secondary. We will continue to develop that institution. You know, last year we added 2 new classrooms, and how we built it, it is built so that we can go up, so that if we need additional classrooms, we can expand upwards. The principal out there, she has said to us, we need now an auditorium where our children can be out of the elements. That also is in the cards, because we want all the schools across Antigua to be on par. Nobody will say that if you go to St. Mary's Secondary, you have a better education than if you go to Jennings or to the Antigua Girls High or to the Princess Margaret. Every child must have a quality education under the United Progressive Party government. Thank you, brothers and sisters, and I look forward to some engagement later on.